We've got a big challenge happening where there's farmed versus wild trout.
I think we should take a survey. Who says that the wild trout is going to be better? Wild trout?
I go wild.
Okay, I'm going with wild too.
Hello?
Greg. Yeah, it's Guy. Where are you anyways?
I'm at the lake fishing. Wait, what's going on?
Listen, I need you to come in.
What do you mean? Are you serious?
I hate to do this to you, man, but there's just no way around it. Sorry. Listen, I'll make it up to you, all right?
Yeah, I'm on my way.
I'll see you soon.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah, check this out.
Oh, you didn't actually catch those.
I did too. I could have caught more if you didn't call me. They were just starting to bite.
Last time Greg went fishing, he turned his back and the seagulls had eaten all his prize. And then all you could hear was the echoes of cursing down the beach line, right? These look awesome.
I don't know why you don't just use farmed ones. Nobody knows the difference. And then it's not like depleting the ocean sources.
I mean, nobody will know the difference. What are you talking about? This is wild fish.
If you're trying to tell me that flavor-wise, you couldn't be able to tell the difference?
I don't think once you put everything on it, people can tell the difference.
Spending too much time on that grill, buddy. Too much time. The heat's getting to your head. I'll tell you what. We'll get some farmed in. We'll use these wild. We'll have like a cook-off.
I don't think anybody's going to.
What do you think?
You're setting yourself up for a big fall, I think.
Trying to determine whether farm fish is better than wild fish. Guys are of the opinion that there's a huge distinctive difference, that wild fish is a lot better, and I'm not entirely convinced. We should ask Taro his thoughts on wild versus...
Well, we can ask him, but I know what the response is going to be.
Taro is our premium fish supplier. I mean, this guy knows fish. Taro, how's it going?
Very good, thank you.
So, Taro, I need to pick up some stuff here.
Okay.
Do you have any fluke?
Yeah, one piece left.
One piece left? This is beautiful fluke. It's very light, delicate fish. He's got two eyes. See that? That's an eye and that's an eye.
Whoa, he's slippery. He's still jumping.
This is a Portuguese snapper.
Look at the size of those eyes. It looks like something out of Finding Nemo.
The Scorpio. Look at that, eh? It just amazes me how these creatures are just so beautiful. I don't know why people always squee when they see fish, but to me, you know, I think they're cuter than any cat I've seen. I'll tell you that much. This is about as close as we get to fishing.
About as close as I want to get.
If I'm going to be on a boat, I want to be on a sailboat.
Cold glass of wine, nice beer, whatever, sun tanning. Tara, what are your thoughts on farmed versus wild fish?
Farmed fish, the fish that they grow in the lakes, the man-made fish. You don't like it?
I don't like it.
If I were to cook you a piece, blind, one or the other, could you pick out which one would be?
Maybe yes.
Well, you should come down to the restaurant. We'll do the taste test.
Okay.
Okay?
Ciao.
Ciao, yeah, bye-bye.
Do you know David Suzuki? International environmentalist. His daughter was good friends with my old Korean girlfriend.
You're kidding.
Yeah. He's the man that knows the know. If we're going to ask someone and get the scoop, he's the guy to get the scoop from.
I'm all for protecting these fish and everything else, but you know what?
Oh, you're all for protecting these fish. What have you been worried about protecting fish?
I am.
You look like a real environmentalist.
Look at my leather jacket. I got leather shoes.
Exactly, I know. From an environmental perspective, I think you have to look at it in two different perspectives. I think you have to look at it from what is the philosophy behind farm fishing and what are some of the realities of farm fishing.
Hi.
Hi, David. How are you?
You're Michael?
I'm Michael.
Good
Pleased to meet you. Welcome. This is Guy.
Hi, Guy.
Been having this discussion, you know, farmed versus wild trout.
The farmed fish have all sorts of ecological costs, especially with salmon. Salmon are seasonal, but now we can get them 12 months a year. We do that by taking perfectly edible fish and feeding it to these carnivores. We're saying we'll take all of these fish in the ocean, grind them up, render them down, make pellets, and feed the salmon. When you render them down, you concentrate the chemicals that we've been spilling into the oceans. So as far as I'm concerned, I would never feed salmon to my family. It's toxic. You know, I hope in your restaurant you celebrate the seasons.
Oh, we do, absolutely.
We shouldn't have this stuff 12 months a year.
Who buys peaches in February?
Exactly.
Do you know what
exactly.
I mean? I live by that rule. For the past 4 months, I've been eating tomatoes. And I'm afraid now that last night was my last tomato salad until next year. I refuse to have tomatoes until next season.
Exactly.
That you are what you eat, and that is, it can't be any clearer than that.
Trout, if you're able to feed them, let's say grasshoppers and worms and stuff like that, those animals should be a lot better to eat than, say, a farmed salmon.
So then you're not really against farm fishing, you're just against the process.
I think farming is going to have to be the way of the future if we're going to continue to have fish. So what we've got to do is say, if you're going to farm, let's get the farming in a way that's mutually compatible. And that means you can't do it the way we're doing now.
I think part of the reason why farm fishing gets such a rap, it's like everything, it's like restaurants. Some restaurants are good and some restaurants are bad. Part of the reason why farm fishing gets such a rap, it's like everything, it's like restaurants. Some restaurants are good and some restaurants are bad. And the difference being are the people that actually run the farms. And then there's a whole issue of sustainable fishing. You're saving certain species that potentially become extinct over time. Like, how many fish are there if we keep eating them all?
All right, here we are. Hi, guys. I'm Ed.
Hi, I'm Michael. We talked on the phone.
Yeah, we did.
What do we got here anyway?
Small trout hatchery. This is where we hatch the eggs. About 7,000 fish in here, and the fish stay in here for 6 months to a year. This pond is holding right now about 12,000 fish. They're under a year old. Herons are the biggest problem that we have. They'll eat 100 fish a day.
One heron will eat 100 of these a day?
Yeah. We got the feed now.
And we're over to this pond here with the bigger fish.
These fish are almost 2 years old.
Wow, they grow pretty fast.
They do grow fast. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Very hungry. And you don't want to jump in there when this is happening.
Yeah.
I feel that we're taking the pressure off the natural fish. These lakes would never maintain the fishing pressure that they get now without stocking.
But talking
Natural
about
body of
sheer
water.
taste, one to the other, side by side.
Farm fish may not be quite as firm. They're not as lean and mean as a wild fish.
And they actually dye it to make it more pink.
Yeah, that's a common practice, is a pigmented feed. It's got keratin in it.
Well, how do I know I'm dealing with a legitimate farmer who's raising, beautifully farmed fish?
Well, you go to their farm.
So if somebody says this fish comes from Alaska, you're going to hop into a plane and go to Alaska?
Well, the point is that you go to farms that are closer.
You're such a dork.
You're the dork. We're moving on to our next cause.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, tonight is our trout competition. I have Taro coming in. Who better settle this than a true Japanese fishmonger? Yeah. We're going to be serving one of these wild and one of these that are farmed.
I'm definitely pro-wild. Yourself, I'm sure.
I am totally pro-wild. So, to enhance the color of the trout, they have keratin in the feed. So what I thought would be really neat was to have carrots with the trout. The first course is our famous pressed sushi terrine. A terrine is something that is layered, that has been pressed, and has some time to set as well. So we've got our trusty little sushi box, and I just want to build some beautiful layers of this funky-looking kombu. Kombu is a dried seaweed. We've also got some sushi rice. Japanese have rice with every course. Just got to press this down now, and we've got our first perfect bed of rice. The next thing we're going to add is our trout that's been in our carrot cure. Is we've taken some rice vinegar, some carrot juice, a little bit of salt, a little bit of sugar, and not only has it changed its color, it's also added now sort of a pickly flavor to this, which is exactly what we want. Now, another piece of our kombu, and a bit more rice.
I think the Japanese would call this Osaka-style sushi box.
Which is really funny because the Japanese were not the first to invent this box.
No?
The Chinese were.
Really?
It's one of those arguments, though. It's like who invented noodles first. So I don't know if you'd find a Japanese person that would be willing to admit that. We're just going to let that sit for a while. Okay, so now we've got these tail pieces here that I would like to roll and stuff. And we can broil this traditional Japanese style.
Right.
So I'd like to sort of make a nice little paste. Taking this curry, which is the Japanese chestnuts. They're really, really super sweet. And a bit of the shiro miso. This is super salty. So together, we're going to have this beautiful paste. Mm-hmm. And I just want to rub it inside the fish. But I want to also rub an eel-based reduction inside, just a touch. Let's crust them in our beautiful black and white sesame seeds. We're just going to roll it up. Just like that.
Oh, yeah.
And skewer it right through. The sugar content in here will help get the skin nice and crispy when we're baking it. Greg, if you want to start broiling our trout,
So Guy and I have this kind of thing going on about this farm versus wild trout. Can you really taste the difference?
I'll put my money on the wild.
Great. Well, anyway, let's talk about what we're going to serve with this. The first course has got a trout terrain happening.
Okay.
As usual, there's 25,000 things happening on the plate. I was kind of playing with the ideas of a Sauvignon Blanc. One of the misconceptions I think a lot of people have with wines to begin with is they all think they have to be old. This wine is not meant to be aged. It's meant to be drank very young. I want it subtle because I don't want it to interfere too much.
Simple. We have that great acidity. We have the citrus flavors.
We want to be on that very thin line between tasting the wine, but obviously not taking over the dish.
Right.
'Cause I'm convinced I'm going to win. You don't look quite as convinced.
Well, you may.
So, our tureens had some time to set. Got our kombu sheet, got some rice, and our carrot-cured trout. Got a nice little hot Japanese mustard leaf here on the bottom. I'd like to garnish this with a little Saruga caviar. Whenever you're handling caviar, do not use any metal spoons. The metal spoon will release some sort of tannic type of flavor, altering the flavor of caviar. So we've got beautiful caramelization on this trout. We've got some beautiful fresh shisa leaves, sort of a cross between a mint and basil, a Japanese leaf. Just gently drop it down in our tempura batter and just fry it on the one side. So we've got the tempura on the one side, and we still preserved our leaf on the other side. So last but not least, we've made this white peach ponzu. Now, this is a soy-based sauce that's flavored with some bonito to give it a bit of a fishy flavor. And we've incorporated some white peaches as well. Now, add just a bit of fire, some chili oil. Okay, and there we have it. This is our first plate. We've got our barbecued trout with white sesame and curry and sakayo miso and an eel barbecue sauce. We've got our carrot-cured pressed sushi terrine with a little dollop of Saruga caviar. And as a dipping sauce, we've got a white peach ponzu with a bit of arame seaweed on the bottom and some yellow pea tendrils to garnish. Beautiful. These are basically fermented soybeans. That's all they are.
All right, Kevin and I got a few points that we want to go over for tonight's service. We've got a big challenge happening where there's farmed versus wild trout. And we've got Taro, our fish supplier, coming in, and he's got a table of 4, and they're the people that are actually going to be the judges to determine which one is which. And if you could all please do me a favor, if you're dropping off dishes to that table, you can't tell them which one it is. Don't say this is the wild trout or this is the farm trout.
I think we should take a survey. Who says that the wild trout is going to be better? Wild trout?
I go wild.
Okay, I'm going with wild, too.
You got fire Taro's first course.
I want to start off with like a trout dashi broth. Very natural. Remember, these guys are Japanese. Super clean flavors. Really fresh ingredients.
I have a Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand. It's very light. It's aged in stainless steel. It's very young. It's meant to be drunk very young. I like it because it's really refreshing.
Let's just get this out. We'll probably use some edible flowers on one. I need green oil, Sam. Give me 2 now, so 2 more. Okay, the ones with these ramekins are wild. These 2 plates are wild. Okay, got that?
So we've got 2 different types of fish. One is farm raised, one is wild. So what I'd like you to do is you eat half, and switch. And let me know which one you like better. Same with you.
Okay. Wow.
I'm convinced that Taro's not going to be able to taste the difference between farmed and wild.
Hands down, wild, all the way. That's my prediction.
So, which one do you like better?
Me, I like this one better.
You like that one better?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I feel more like natural fish taste.
And you agree, obviously? Yeah. Okay, cool. Enjoy.
All right, let's pick up here, please. Hard and fast. Let's go everywhere but 301 right.
301 right.
Thank you.
So they finished their first.
Good. Can we go on the next course?
Yeah, you can finish the next course, but I think that the wild trout is winning the battle.
The wild trout's winning. Good. Well, what did you expect?
Shut up.
What did you think?
You're all right.
Joker. What I want to do with this particular course is actually make sushi roll and stuff it inside the trout. We've got some natto, long, gooey, sticky. These are basically fermented soybeans. That's all they are. Look at that. Isn't that cool? And I want to incorporate some sakayo miso, the sweet white miso, some roasted garlic as well. Now Greg's going to start pounding away, and he's going to form that into a paste. And we're going to be rubbing that inside of our trout here. Now, we've got some chives here and some cilantro. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to make our sushi roll. I've got some nori, which is seaweed. Once again, rice with every course, right? Now, goba root is a root vegetable, sort of similar to the carrot. And what we've done is we've saffron pickled this and turned it to yellow. Okay, so that's our next layer. Now, we've got some beautiful purple basil and sea urchin, our uni.
Uni and natto. Now, those are a couple of acquired tastes, both in the same dish.
I know. But you know what? These guys, they're Japanese.
Yeah, they'll love it.
They're going to be all over this. Okay, last but not least, some trout roe. And again, you always want to use a utensil that's non-metallic. Now, just like any sushi roll, I'm just going to turn this, tuck and pull. Pull, turn, pull, turn, and just roll it right out. And we're going to stuff it into the cavity of our fish. This is a new form of doing sushi, I think. It's a simple tie. It's got to be super tight because we want to keep everything intact. It's very traditional in Japanese cuisine to serve the whole fish, head to tail. It's the whole pride thing. And it's also a sign of it being fresh. So, up to you, master. Let's start cooking that off. All we can do now is sit back and see whether or not it's going to rule in the favor that we think it's going to rule in. And it's really up to Taro and his guests.
Whether the guest is farmed or not, I think they're still going to enjoy it either way.
Orange is wild, yellow is farmed.
So for the second course, which is a trout that's served whole and stuffed with uni, let's go with the Chardonnay. Let's keep things simple again. We want to taste the difference.
This needs to be much, much warmer. I mean, when you first taste it when it's this cold, all you get is fruit. Banana, pineapple. You get more vanilla flavors when it warms up a little bit.
Most restaurants serve wines too warm or too cold. I always find the reds are too warm, and the whites I always find freezing cold. That's just something that needs to be changed through education, that's all. Your next course is coming up shortly, and I've prepared a Chardonnay, similar to what you find in Burgundy. It's very robust in its flavor. See the color? How beautiful it is, nice and golden. You may want to just put your hand on it a bit, just to warm it up just a bit. It's a little cool. I hope you enjoy it.
Okay, so how's that trout doing?
I'd say it's perfect.
Nice, beautiful color. Skin is nice and crispy. We've got our whole trout that we have stuffed with a nori roll. We've made a spicy carrot foam, very light and airy.
Okay, we have froth.
We have froth. I want all four to go out at the same time. Orange is wild, yellow is farm. Okay, thank you. Got it. Don't tell them no. I just want you to know that.
Wow. So is it going to be like farm or wild?
Verge isn't out yet, so we gotta do the same thing with this one. We gotta eat half, switch. Okay.
Ah, it's spicy.
Let's switch over. Give me yours. There you go. Nice sauce.
Okay, so here we go. We've got the chef. I have to ask the question now. Which one did you like better?
I think this one.
Which one?
It's a wild one.
You like that one better?
It's hard to tell. It looks like this is a wild, I think.
The first course, all four picked wild. And in this one, two said wild. One was sort of uncertain.
Yeah.
And the other one said farmed.
Amazing.
Very nice.
Yes.
Okay, so the score, 6 wild, 1 indifferent, and 1 farmed.
So
It's obvious.
Basically came out the way we expected.
Well, I didn't expect that.
I know, you're wrong. Once again, you're wrong.
Listen, this is the first time I've been wrong. First time. There again. What are you talking again?
You're wrong all the
Give me a
time.
break again.
Michael, you're wrong all the time.
I'm not wrong all the time.
And you set yourself up.
You know
Do you
what?
enjoy
Listen, I
setting
don't need
yourself up for such brutal defeats? You're such a good loser, though. I do like that about you.
He's a good loser.
He is a very good loser.
Very good. He's a gentleman.
Anyways, congratulations on the fish. I can't believe you even caught it yourself. You're the superstar.